What's your carnal theory?
Hi, everybody. I am Abba.
And I'm Amanda. And today on Carnal Theory, we are talking to the fantastic Dr. Catalina Lawsin, who has over 20 years of experience in clinical psychology. She's a researcher, a professor in the field of sexual health, and has worked all across the globe. She's also been a part of a leading research team in the development of Aviva, the first sex therapy for Latina cancer survivors. And she hosts the Sex Marks the Spot podcast. Catalina, it is so lovely to see you again. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, ladies, for having me. It's awesome to talk again.
Yeah. So, Catalina, if you could you say the theme that you've brought for our consideration today?
So my question to you, or what I propose to the world, is that sex should be our first vital sign. How sexually satisfied are you? When was the last time your doctor actually asked, how sexually satisfied are you? Has the doctor ever asked you that?
Nope.
Okay. So my research showed that one question, when you look at, there's so numerous questionnaires around sexual satisfaction, function, health, physical health, as well as psychological and social well-being. That one question correlates strongest with everything, with physical, psychosocial, relational, and functional outcomes. How sexually satisfied are you? So what I'm proposing is that we actually, a lot of the work I do is with training healthcare providers and integrating how we address psychosexual concerns in health. And so what I posit is that I think we all, healthcare providers and individuals, need to ask ourselves regularly, how sexually satisfied are you? Because this one question, first and foremost, normalizes the centrality of sexuality to our overall well-being, but then also opens up this conversation of saying, let's actually use sex inherent in this conversation. Regardless of how you actually define sexuality for yourself, inherent in just beginning to integrate it in our daily conversations, we've already began to think more holistically. And the way we train clinicians is we always start with like an upside down pyramid. And to me, in asking ourselves or asking patients, how sexually satisfied are you? It's another way to do that. And also first recognizing as a clinician that we are seeing you as a whole person and that is your health and your well-being.
You said that sexual health is a part of your overall well-being. Can you expand on that? In what ways does sexual health contribute, or sexual satisfaction perhaps, contribute to your overall well-being?
So when we think about, the way I define sexuality is how we connect to our bodies, to ourselves, and then how we choose to connect with others. And from that place, when you start thinking about neuroscience and physical health, all of these things, when any of those things are awry, our connection to ourselves is the first. Sex is going to generally desire is going to be the first thing to disappear and the last thing that we acknowledge. And so, because just purely the way we have thought. But so when we think about our overall well-being and health from that standpoint, as that marker, then of how we connect to ourselves, then you then begin to actually specify, oh, I have back pain, or, oh, I'm anemic, so I have low energy. And then you bring it from there. But rather than thinking, I got to start plugging holes, because in medicine, there is no cure. There's no cure for there's not a cure for a common cold, let alone cancer or heart disease. So the idea in life is we're all going to die. So we're just plugging holes in the dam so that we live the life the best we can. And so the idea is rather than thinking, oh, I have this one problem, or, oh, my partner cheated on me here, or, oh, this one job, or this one shitty day at work, rather than thinking so specific, our body doesn't discriminate between those stressors. Our body learns how to connect across anything, and it begins to learn and have the same habits, same reactions, regardless of what the target is. So I say take a back-end approach, more from thinking about, okay, if we just focus on how you're connecting with yourself, one, that's the only thing you can control, period, ever. That it's from that vantage point that we then begin to address things one by one, you know? And then when you think about that from just like a hyperarousal neuroscience perspective, and when you bring in like meditation and things like that, that's where those things come in, where you detach from all of those norms and those things that we've been taught, and the systemic things that just inherent are oppressive in our existence, to then bring the existence back and the focus back on what you can control, regardless of where you are and how you physically are feeling. Does that make sense?
How do we find or learn these skills to reflect, to find the tools to know, am I satisfied?
This is where I think a lot of right now the self-help, self-love, self-care space is helping us. Just begin to first and foremost heighten our awareness to ask ourselves, what am I feeling? What am I needing? You know, and starting off there to heighten that awareness, to even just begin to check in, let alone connect and dance with yourself, you know? So I think that that's where it's leaning in on, okay, where's the biggest space of where we're seeing movement on this? You know, now, again, as much as therapy's talked about, and, you know, I think so much has shifted, particularly during the pandemic. Do not get it twisted. It's still absolutely a privileged process that has tons of systemic and cultural barriers to it. And it is also just one way of supporting individuals, right? Like, but we've done so much work at destigmatizing it. But do not get it twisted. The majority of the world still thinks that therapy is because somebody's problematic, or they have a mental health problem, or they're broken, you know? So I think it's the same kind of thing of where you got to start of assessing where people's level of awareness is and tailor to meeting them. And that's why I do think that this is where we need to think interdisciplinary, because there's going to be so many different people who can touch people in different ways and explain it different ways, that one, first and foremost, in anything in healthcare, just try to do no harm. And I think that for the most part, I think heightening awareness can help with that. It's generally the space where people are saying, and now do this, that you see a lot of the harm. Because I do think that a lot in this self-help space is mostly people's, I had this experience, so if I can do it, you can too, which is unfortunately just not the way it works, which is why we have science, which is why we have like empirically validated treatments, because we just know that that's not the case. Just because you were able to, that's fucking awesome. And your way may likely not work for everybody.
Yep.
You know, and so I think that but I think it's starting off with a level of awareness and asking yourself, what do I need? What do I want? What do I feel? Just however you need to do that, however that begins to connect, and then doing that over and over and over, so that once you're in that space, then, because remember, your body knows first, all of this is conscious. Asking yourself that question is conscious. Soon your body's already reacted and the moment's gone. All of this is retrospective. So the idea when we're talking about awareness, which leads to eventual change, is getting closer and closer and closer to the actual moment. And then it's just constant.
Do you have some integrative ways that people could either reflect upon or improve their sexual satisfaction? Back to your first question. Are you sexually satisfied?
I mean, the first is one, just asking and seeing actually what comes up, and then leaning in on that first emotion. If the first emotion is fuck, I don't know. well, why don't you? Like, I feel like it's, again, starting with what comes up right then, and then going with it and getting curious. And through the mental exploration, what I think is that beginning to even just shift your body, changing, like I'm now facing this wall versus that, changing while you're already thinking about it, begins to then start to link and heighten your awareness of how the thought is actually reacting to the emotions, and now how your body is to it. And that from that place, then you can actually begin to wrestle with yourselves. From that place, then you can begin to actually say, God, like right now, I'm getting sweaty. Why am I getting sweaty? Is it because of the lights, or I'm nervous, or what's happening? What does my body need? I probably don't need coffee. I probably need a cold water. And then I'm listening to myself and thinking, oh God, cold water, that's really, really relaxing. And then I'm thinking, okay, I remember this like one river and how clear it was. And then immediately I can start feeling that coolness. And the next thing you know, I'm tingling. That's the work. That's the fucking, when we think about Tantra and how we begin to actually bring pleasure, you can do it anytime. And so in just asking that one question, that's my process of where I get to, and probably give myself an orgasm from it because I've fucking done it a ton of times, right? And so that's the idea of and of course everyone's like, oh, how can I have an orgasm? Because that's what people fixate on, a target. We focus so much on an outcome, so that when we ask people how sexually satisfied you, the first thing they think is, how else am I having sex? No, the first thing people think, they think frequency. Because again, everything's so concrete, you know? So I think the biggest thing is the first step is literally exploring what is your reaction just even to the question. And then seeing where your body and your mind and your actions take you from there. And if I'm doing that with somebody, then just like how you guys are watching me go through this and you're saying, holy shit, she's really sweaty. Oh my God, what am I? Am I sweaty? Is there enough light in here? And then that's what happens.
Well, in a beautiful, unexpected derailment of sex 101 questions, it actually has been distilled down, which is reflect upon it for yourself. It's your own vital sign. Ask yourself if you're sexually satisfied, as Dr. Catalina has.
How sexually satisfied are you?
How sexually satisfied are you? Yes. Ask these things, ask them frequently. And that loops back to what we're pitching of commanding your biography. So it's all deeply, deeply integrated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we hope that this episode has given all of you who are listening something further to reflect upon. We literally have posed this question to reflect upon. So certainly do so. You can reach out to us with questions or insights on our Instagram page at My Sex Bio or at Carnal Theory. And we encourage you to go look and explore Dr. Catalina's work on drcatalina.org or on Instagram at Dr. Catalina 2.0, and definitely on our TikTok, which is kind of just blowing up right now. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, thanks, ladies. Thank you so much for all of your work. I really appreciate it.
Always deepest of gratitude. Thank you.
Awesome. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Carnal Theory is produced by My Sex Bio, an educational platform empowering people like you to take command of your sexual biography. Our sound design is by David Usma and theme music by Min the Universe. Video editing is by David Usma, and our assistant video editor and marketing coordinator is Maria Taruque. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify at My Sex Bio. Visit our website and join our e-letter at mysexbio.org and support our work by joining our Patreon. Thank you.